Good morning, teacher. My name is Mariana Sarabia. I will present my project. Introduction. In this project of this blog, we learn various topics. Is the subject of English, is of which we will put into practice what we have learned. For this blog using is to say the regular and regular vocabulary, verbs as well as the topic of passive voice and the verbs in the participle, in which the of passive voice is a grammatic structure that is used when you do not want to express or will perform the action but implies where a word receives it. When we speak, it is more common for us to use active sentence which refers to subject being or the performing the action or the author have passive. Prior the subject of the share is not the one we perform the action but the one receives it. It is a sign it will be an invention that occurs in story through the right or project 1. Will tell you about the discovery of telescope. Here I will tell you a little about its story of how it has evolved over 30 years and how it has transferred to twists that put inside me. Why here you will observe in this project where contains same from this book were used and how much is the money to user. 10 microbes. Inventor of the microscope in Zacharias, Janssen interviewer 1590, this Dutch Heinz McFur, which is the father some observers groups different lines. The Dutch Otium Zachar Janssen, together with his father Hans Licher, invented microscopes at the end of the 16th century. Another version considered that it was Galileo, was invented in the 1600s and was the first to use this word. The first clear microscopes observers which there is that the manufacture is high and simple microscope was another Dutch Antonio van Leeuwenhoek. Leeuwenhoek describes science and wide variety of fungi, organisms, and water body food. So in general parts were headers in Haparus that primate discovered antibiotic to which those microbes, but it opened the doors to a well-worn and broke some existing theories. In the 17th century, the technology to manufacture lakes was improved a lot, and Galileo Galilei was one of the first that we have evidence that uses apparatus to observe insects and is super size in the late 17th century. Robert Hooke and observed that core was made of small Howie cagety interfere on cells and cage 10 cells years later living less cells go. The observatory which allowed to understand both life was organisms. Microbes were also seen. The first bacteria in stem were discovered by Leeuwenhoek, Hayes, looking at trains of tartar. From it his of the he showed the rate a block set and spare. The first microscopes were optical, they work but in the low run other items were using the electron microscope allow you for much more considered magnification. They will no longer look at the cells but observe the size of the cells and finally the cells were admitted by some completely different principles such as the ternary microscopy which directly reveal atoms. Optical microscopes. Apart from the inventor of the tropical microscope, Zacharias Janssen, the first one involved in this mode was introduced Anthony van Leeuwenhoek. The optical microscope of Stanby barely studied those magnific and was utile Thanks to Herman Puffy, who worked for Carey, Sainz and who replaced vehicle, water with the of Pacific Check, which is the maximum chip and topical microscope. Electron microscope. According to David's line, it is possible to distinguish two ogres separating at distant lines than far and one left of the line and luminosity 10 in 1892 price was discovered which having a very much lower than of light could have been a means to a worker. The frontier optical microscopy, the sweet bass Daisy by Herman Ruska and Maslow Bectil 1925 a 1930. Tunnel microscope. The tunnel microscope, which presents a considerable advance of the electron microscope, is based on the following phenomenon. Two themes of electrical wire are conduct electric current in a surface close to normal. In 1982, thesis are given a rover from the laboratory in Zurich invented a microscope box of the explosion of the tunnel effect. They received the Nobel Prize for this invention in 1996. Atomic force microscopes. Derived from the tunnel microscopes, the atomic force microscopes is comes from the same principle which is different that it's no longer than electric current as electron to make it possible to regards to sulfur to be explored but to atomic intervention for it was invented in 1885. With Hermann Herwig and Robert Christopher and the American Calvin Klett from his laboratory in Zurich, positron microscope. It is valued of the electron microscope that is based of the vast and positive symmetry balancing of the lighter as before, a positive light which matter in different ways than electron and probes. Consequent an imagine of material studying different and complementary to Utanai which electron microscopes. Priors 1. Cemetery invent Microsoft Astim. 2. The computer invented by Conrad Suss. 3. The home event by Anthony Musi. 4. Televis invented by John Logie By. 5. The internet invented by Bob Author. 6. The cloud invented by Peter Helm. Conclusion. The cloud, which it is a site here we put into practice what the liner it is blocked into which this essay release. At the time of the invention was a telescope that began in around 1690 instrument has evolved up to years in which scientists have shared a lot science through the telescope takes an event destined veins in story as well as promises a means to collect and analyze the radius of celestial objects and events in the cacophony of the universe, with which telescope is an important tool for science during the life and years that have elapsed. Have you to having discoveries more to now? Thank you for your attention. Good morning.